Hi there, my name is Dr. Jen Perez, and today I am going to talk about some winter boots. Now, let me caveat this by saying some of these boots are a season or two old, but I really wanted to show you the boots that I personally truly use in the winter. All of these are what would be considered minimalist boots. So I'll talk about what that means, but I kind of have them arranged from warmest to least warm, essentially. First of all, let's talk about what a minimalist boot means. Now, what you'll find with all of these is that they all feature a nice wide toe box. This is very, very important when it comes to foot health because we need to be able to spread our toes and splay our forefoot in order to get proper alignment of our toes, in order to get proper activation of the muscles of our feet, and also be able to have efficient walking mechanics. This sets up our entire body for having a solid foundation and having a more efficient walking pattern. What we're also going to find with these is they are all relatively flexible. So even though they are a nice sturdy boot that's going to protect our feet during the winter, they're very flexible. There's no arch support. This is going to let your foot be a foot. Our feet were designed to move. They have 33 joints built in. They have 4 layers of muscles in the foot alone, in addition to muscles that live in the calf that also act on the foot. So our feet are very strong. They have 3 arches. All of this to say, our feet need to be able to move and bend and adapt, and we need to be able to use those muscles. Because just like the rest of our body, if we don't use it, we lose it. So in the winter, when people tend to lean on really rigid, hard boots that are very stiff, our muscles don't get to activate the way that they do all summer long when we might be more barefoot or in a thinner shoe. So these boots are gonna offer that flexibility that we're looking for in a shoe that keeps us nice and warm. They're also all going to be what's called zero heel to toe drop. So with a zero heel to toe drop, the heel and the forefoot all live in the same plane. Many shoes and many boots have a heel lift, meaning that that heel is elevated, which is going to put more pressure on the forefoot. And we know that a lot of pathologies that happen in the foot happen in the forefoot, like bunions and neuromas and metatarsalgia. Let's talk a little bit about each of these boots and some of the differences that we'll find between them. Again, keep in mind, some of these might be a season or two old. So starting off with the Xero Alpine. So the Xero Alpine, this is one of my boots that I go to for winter activities. So if I'm gonna go out and go snowshoeing, this is my go-to because it is lined around the top of the ankle. It's also one of the more stiff of all of the boots that I'm showing here, and that'll give a little bit the more you wear it, but it has that little bit of stiffness, which is nice for some of those more rugged activities. It also has some really great lugs underneath, so it's nice and grippy. Again, this is gonna be my go-to for something like snowshoeing, where I wanna also stay nice and dry. Next up is Vivo Barefoot. Vivo Barefoot does change their boots every season. So this is last year's tracker that was winterized, but the tracker in general is a great boot to have. Again, really aggressive lugs on the bottom here. It's really nice grippy rubber. So I live in Denver, and oftentimes we're walking on ice when we're going through the parking lot, things like that. These are really great for gripping, not slipping on ice. This is my go-to for either everyday wear or when I'm gonna go on a hike that could be kind of wet, kind of cold, a little bit of snow, something that's a little bit thinner, but I don't need to snowshoe in it necessarily. I just went on a snowy hike in these. My feet were very, very warm. I didn't even have to wear wool socks or anything like that. They have a nice thermal liner, and this is gonna be more flexible than the Xero Alpine was. Next up is the Wildlings boot. And again, they switch up their boots that they have, but what you're looking at here is it's a high top boot, and this is wool. So even though this would be considered the most barefoot of all of the boots here, it's very, very thin. It's very, very lightweight. It's also very warm because the entire shoe is made of wool. It keeps you nice and toasty, but without sacrificing that really barefoot feel. So if you are a true barefooter and you want that freedom, you want to feel like you're wearing wearing nothing, but you want to keep your feet warm in the winter, this is definitely a go-to boot, because truly all of my Wildlings, it feels like I'm wearing air. There's really hardly anything to it. So you're gonna feel like you're barefoot, but have that warmth of the wool. Next up is the Feelgrounds Patrol. This is the Winter Patrol. Again, it's going to be flexible, kind of similar to that Vivo Barefoot. The one difference between these two is the lugs on the bottom. So this one's gonna be more trail friendly. It has much more aggressive lugs. This is gonna be more of a city boot, where I'll use this on walks around my neighborhood when it's cold outside. It's also really well waterproof. So I actually went on a walk where I was stepping in some icy puddles, and because it is attached up to halfway up the laces, my feet didn't get wet, everything stayed nice and warm. It is lined on the inside, and again has that nice flexibility. So another great option for more walking around town, walking around the city. Last up is going to be the Shapen boot. Now this is a new boot from Shapen, and I really love the shape on this. There's plenty of room in that toe box. You're definitely not sacrificing any of that toe freedom, but it's still a really cute boot. I love the kind of puffer look to this, and I also love that it's a slip-on. So it's, you know, if I'm going out to my mailbox or something like that and I just want to slip something on, this is really great. I will say that this does have a little bit of a thinner sole to it, so my feet get a little bit colder in this than they do in the others, but when I put on my nice wool toe socks, that's a great combination for, I could wear this going to the grocery store or something like that. And then similar to the Feelgrounds, this is going to be more of your walking around the city boot versus having the lugs on these two boots. If you're looking for more information on minimalist shoes or what shoes are healthy for your feet, we at Gait Happens do have a course called the Soul Switch, and it's an hour-long course all about what to look for in footwear. Why do we care about a wide toe box? When is cushion a good thing? When should I be using a little bit more arch support? When should I be using these things? How to test your feet and more. So if you're looking for more information on how to find the right shoes for you, I recommend heading to the Soul Switch for more information.